Hi, this is Ingrid from Quiltessential Co in St. Albert, and today we're going to be doing our block of the month. But first I wanted to show you this because we're talking more about Canadian things. Check out this cool quilt behind me, and we will also have kits here at the store if you want to come and get those. And look at this lovely yarn I just got, hand dyed from someone in Lethbridge. And if you want to make a scarf or something like this, you can come in and check it out. Meanwhile, let's go cut block of the month. First, you should get out your sheet with all the colors so you know which one to cut out. And this is a wonderful block that we're going to make this month. And it's got an interesting center and an interesting part in the middle, which will make a really nice pattern when we put them together. So let's go cut out. We have two pieces in A, and you could, if you want, stack A and B together and then cut them at once. So you've got a square cut once on the diagonal, and you've got two long strips. The squares, this one's going to be of your A fabric labeled AA, and of your B fabric, label it BB so that we don't get confused later. And don't forget, it's a B2 shape, and that's what we're going to use for trimming up. We have C, squares cut on the diagonal, same with D. You could stack those together and cut them at the same time if you want to, and the same with E and F, squares cut on the diagonal. And now we're going to put it all together and sew. Make sure you label so you know which one's which. So we have our A and our B strips, and you'll have two sets of these. And we're just going to take it and sew on the long side and press it open. And pretend it's longer, because I've already cut some off. You will have two pieces that are long. And you're going to just take your ruler, use the dimension that I told you, and cut your sections from that. So you will have a whole bunch of little units. When you sew these together, make sure your raw edge is up to the needle. So your needle's coming down here. That will press those two together so that you get a really nice center and they're all lined up really nicely. So you're going to make 4 of these, and you're going to use the back of your ruler, and it's on here that has the trim up, and it has the lines so that you can get that straight right on top of your 4 patch. So you line it up, and you're going to trim off the excess, and then you're going to turn it, and you're going to trim up the excess. Put your white line over here, make sure you're back on your X here. And so they'll be absolutely perfect. So here's your little 4 patch, and you will make 4 of those. So I took the 4 patches that we made, and I've got the 2 triangles that are a B1 triangles. So we've got C will be on 2 of the squares, and on the other 2 squares we're going to have D. So we'll have D and C. So if you can see here, here's your 4 patch. We're going to put the 2 triangles on, and then the 2 triangles, and on the other ones we're going to do the other colors. So we have our C and D triangles all on that. And remember, when we sew these, look at your cheat sheet, sew it from the back. You're going to be sewing down the square, so it doesn't matter if the triangle's sticking out or back in a little bit, you're even with your square. So sew 1/4 of an inch on either side of that, press, and then do your other 2 triangles, and then we're going to trim up and do the next step. So here's your 4 patch in the middle, and you have added your D's or C's, depending on which ones you picked up to do, but they're all the same. Don't worry about all the mess. Remember, it'll all get trimmed up. And these were all labeled as B1s. So you find your B1 on the ruler, put your B1 in the center of your square. Oh, I'm quite happy with that. And B1 is right here. And you're going to trim up the side and the side, turn it and trim the other 2 sides. And you will do that for the others. So here is one, here's another one, and then these are repeated. Now, of course, we've got to finish our block. So
we're going to be adding our B2 style triangles. I just want to remind you that one of these is labeled also AA and one of them is BB. So when you put these guys on, you're going to be putting an AA on one side and an E on the other side, and a BB on one side and an F on the other side, so that you get this other quarter square triangle happening in the middle. And then you finish them up the same way as before with the triangles that are B2s, and make sure you keep your colors in the right order, and there is your block. It will come out really nicely. I'm going to tell you about another Canadian product that I really like. So when we press this, see how nice and flat that is? That's done with the Easy Press pen, and this is made in Canada and it's designed here too. It's an Acorn precision piecing tool, and it's like a liquid and on felt pen. And when I put that in here and then I iron on the top, no matter how much I pick that up and move it around, they still stay super, super flat and open. So if you want your seams to look that good at the back, make sure you use your Easy Press pen too. And that is your block of the month. This time I also gave you a little bonus project that showed you could make a runner too. So I hope you enjoy that, and the square recipe, which comes from down east. We're all Canadian today. So we finished our March block of the month. By now you should be getting a good hang of how it's going, and hopefully you've kind of got your size. Yours might be 12.5, they might be 12.25. Try not to worry about it too much. We'll fix it all at the end, and hopefully you'll now know what all of those B1s and B2s and A1s and A2s all mean, and that's important for finishing all your blocks. And I hope that you found this video useful, and if you did, please leave us a like and click subscribe below. And this has been Ingrid from Quiltessential Co, and thanks for sewing with me today, and I'll see you again next month.